Hey there, Meteorologist Ryan Hoke with you with the latest edition of the Hokey video blog. Hope you're having a pleasant Sunday morning. For those of us who wanted to see snow last night, yeah, that didn't work out so well, did it? What we had happen was that an area of dry air near the surface set up, especially over the Louisville metro area, so the snow was falling and then evaporating before it got to the ground level. So you probably saw on radar, we had a couple of those waves of snow showers moving through. You look up in the sky, you don't see anything. Well, that was certainly the case. To add insult to injury for snow lovers, early this morning, late last night, we had some warm air advect or move in, got temperatures all the way up to 37 degrees. So we had rain falling in some places, a little bit of drizzle, a little bit of light rain, and some of those locations that did see it. But the good news is that is causing virtually little in the way of travel problems this morning. We are dipping down in temperature. We'll be in the 20s for quite a portion of the morning here before we recover back into probably the low to mid 30s this afternoon. So the good news in all of this is that really not any problems from snow since we really didn't see much. We did have some reports of snow falling last night, especially across portions of our southern Indiana counties. Had some reports of moderate snow at times, but didn't last too long. The brunt of the storm, of course, went over the Indianapolis area and farther north from there, where, in fact, I-65 was shut down for quite a bit of time north of Indy this morning. But let's go through our forecast that lies ahead. We'll start you out with the satellite and radar view. You see all these clouds across Kentucky, and at this point, we do have a break off to our west out here. You're seeing that kind of widen out. And that's going to be what we're watching as we go throughout the afternoon. So we'll start with the clouds this morning, and eventually some clearer air will make its way in here. We'll call it mostly sunny by the time we head throughout the middle to latter portion of the afternoon hours. So there's some good news there for us. Let's take you through Futurecast. Yeah, pretty nice day today with partly cloudy skies. We get a few clouds in here for tomorrow, but really of no consequence for your Martin Luther King Jr. Day. But then by Tuesday, note the time, this is 4 a.m., we start to see snow showers redevelop across the region here. And this is going to be associated with another clipper system, just like the one we had. But, of course, not all of these things play out identically. The one we had before, the one we had last night, gave us 2 inches of snow here in Louisville. The one last night didn't work out so well. This one looks pretty light. I would say well under an inch of snow for us here in Louisville. Not a big deal. Probably a dusting in most places if you see anything at all. I think the bigger deal is going to be the batch of cold air that moves in behind us. We've been talking about these waves of cold coming in over the next several days. Here's one of them right here. This is going to plunge us into the 20s as we go throughout your Tuesday. We'll start at around 28 by Tuesday morning, say midnight, 1 o'clock. Then we drop throughout the day, eventually getting down into the teens. Yes, I said teens by the time we head into Tuesday night into your Wednesday morning. As far as snow totals go from the models, because I know everybody likes to see that, here's what the NAM model is showing. Well under an inch here in Louisville, about an inch in North Vernon. We'll keep track of this as we go throughout the next couple of days. Of course, the RPM model looks pretty similar. These models, of course, didn't handle the dry air very well and the warm temperatures that moved in. So we take them with a grain of salt, especially in a clipper type setup like this. RPM, in fact, not even putting out barely a tenth of an inch here in the Louisville area. That's not surprising. GFS model, a little more bullish on snow totals, but of course we're talking relative here. Still under an inch here in Louisville. But something we do want to talk about are these waves of cold, at least the upcoming ones. So we've got the one coming through Tuesday here at 6:30 a.m. You can tell here on this 500 millibar height chart where this is. Here's that first wave. Something interesting to note is how persistent the ridge is off to our west. This is a big high-pressure ridge. I know you can't see that very well because it's yellow, but you get the idea. Pushing up northward into Vancouver, British Columbia, even into Alaska at this point. We always say if Alaska warms up, then look out, here comes the cold air. Well, that's the point we're making right now. You'll notice the Juneau, parts of Anchorage up there, even Fairbanks, still under this big ridge up there. And that's helping to funnel the cold air down into Kentuckiana. This isn't the magnitude of that whole Arctic blast or the so-called polar vortex, which really that was part of the polar vortex coming down into southern parts of Canada. Didn't really even enter the United States. Well, semantics aside, basically what we're going to have are these waves of cold still moving through because this ridge out to the west is very persistent for the entire week. The GFS and the Euro have both backed off somewhat on this as we go toward the weekend and into early next week, trying to show somewhat of a break in this pattern. But as you'll see here, Saturday morning, we still got this persistent trough. Still things are pretty chilly, but we won't be in the 20s, probably more in the 30s. But as this starts to change out, I think it brings in a little bit of a risk of a snowstorm to develop. Not necessarily for us, but some sort of storm that may try to ride the southern edge of this, because the southern edge has been suppressed down south for so long that the edge of the cold air begins to retreat northward. We could see an area of low pressure try to develop sometime over the weekend or early next week. This is a very low potential at this point, more of a hypothetical scenario given the setup, but something that we'll be watching over the next several days to see if something tries to show up in the model. So it's kind of a potential at this point, not a real big deal. No big storms in the forecast. In fact, as we go throughout your Friday, I've only got well, in fact, I don't even have any precipitation for Friday in that 7-day forecast. It's Saturday, and I've got a 20% chance for a few snow showers, but high temperatures up to 36, as you can tell as this starts to retreat northeastward a little bit, this ridge does. But still a big drought and wildfire risk out there in California. Those folks can't catch a break, and by the looks of things, at least over the next week, they're still going to have to contend with it. During the peak of this big cold wave coming through, or at least one of them, I should say, after the Tuesday time frame into Thursday morning, we'll have a little bit of a clipper that comes through Wednesday night into Thursday morning. I think the snow part of that's going to stay mostly to our northeast, but could see a snowflake or two out of it. The reinforcing shot of cool air is going to make things absolutely bitterly cold. These are going to be lows on your Thursday morning. 8 degrees here in Louisville, 3 in Seymour. Now these are model output lows from the GFS. So this is not our forecast. My forecast on Thursday morning has us at 10 degrees here in Metro Louisville. That's still cold, no matter how you shake it. So if you've got kids at the bus stop on Thursday morning, you'll really have to bundle them up. And that's the same story for Wednesday morning and Friday morning, too. Highs will be in the teens there. This is just the coldest batch of air that I think we'll see as we go throughout the next week. So even though we don't have any big storms in the forecast, still some interesting weather to track over the next week. We've got clippers coming down from Canada as that ridge of high pressure sticks out to the west. And of course, we got the big trough here over the east that we'll be seeing when that's going to retreat eastward, if it does it all over the next week. A lot of data to go over. Brian will be here tonight with the latest on the long-range snow talk. And of course, we will have the latest for you as we go throughout the week on all the things that we've been tracking here over the weekend. Keep it right here on Wave 3 News. We'll keep you updated. For now, I'm meteorologist Ryan Hoke. Thanks for watching.